Hi everyone, my name is Justyna Lucznik and I'm the Group Product Manager for the Data Engineering workload in Microsoft Fabric. Today I'm really excited to show you some of the key experiences we're lighting up for data engineers, including how you can build out your Lakehouse architecture, how you can leverage Spark and notebooks to prepare all your data. Today we're going to take a look at how data engineers can leverage Fabric to build out a Lakehouse architecture. In this scenario, I'd like to build a lakehouse for my organizational marketing data to share with the business. I'm going to start out by creating a new lakehouse artifact, going to give it a name, and then immediately land in the empty Lakehouse Explorer. The lakehouse is a new experience that combines the power of the lake and warehouse and is a central repository for all Fabric data. I have a variety of options to bring data into the lakehouse. I can simply upload files and folders from my local machine. I can use data flows, which is a low-code tool with hundreds of connectors, or I can leverage the pipeline copy activity to bring in petabytes of data at scale. Once my marketing data is in the lakehouse, Delta tables are automatically created for me with no additional effort. I can easily explore the tables, see their schema, and even the underlying files. I would also like to add some unstructured customer reviews to accompany my campaign data. Since the data already exists in storage, I can simply point to it with no data movement necessary. To do this, I'm going to add a new shortcut, which allows me to create a virtual table and virtual files inside my lakehouse. Shortcuts enables me to select from lots of different sources, including lakehouses and warehouses in Fabric, but also external storage like AWS Gen 2 and even Amazon S3. Since my customer reviews are actually in S3, all I have to do is select it as a source, specify the data's location, and populate all of my account information. On the next screen, I can give my shortcut a name, and that's it in terms of setup. Within seconds, I can see a shortcut created in the Files section, which is the messy, unstructured data lake portion of the lakehouse. I can now explore the data in the lakehouse and even open up the PDFs, despite the data still physically being in S3. Now that all my data is ready in the lakehouse, there are many ways for me to use it. As a data engineer or data scientist, I can open up the lakehouse in a notebook and leverage Spark to continue transforming the data or build a machine learning model. As a SQL professional, I can seamlessly navigate to the SQL endpoint of the lakehouse, where I can write SQL queries, create views and functions, all on top of the same Delta tables. As I write a quick SQL query, I get results back instantly without needing to move any data. Finally, as a business analyst, I can simply navigate to the built-in modeling view and start developing my BI data model directly in the same warehouse experience. After adding relationships and measures to my data, I can generate a Power BI report in a single click. As I build out my report, I get amazing performance thanks to Power BI Direct Lake Mode. With Direct Lake Mode, Power BI can natively read the Parquet Delta formats stored in one lake, meaning, again, no data was duplicated in the process. To conclude, in Fabric, data engineers have a frictionless experience building out their enterprise data lakehouse and can easily democratize this data for all users in the organization. Let's take a look at how an administrator can configure a Spark environment for their data engineers. I'm starting out in the Capacity Admin portal, where I can now access the Spark Compute settings for data engineers and data scientists. Opening up the Spark Compute option, I can set a default runtime and default Spark properties. I can also turn on the ability for workspace admins to configure their own custom Spark pools. I'm now going to navigate to the Marketing workspace, which I'm getting ready for my data engineers. The workspace comes pre-wired with a default Spark pool that all notebooks and Spark jobs inherit from. We can view and modify this pool by navigating to the workspace settings and drilling into the Data Engineering and Data Science tab. Here I can modify things like the default libraries that come with the workspace. For example, I can search for the word cloud library and choose the version that I want. I can also add libraries from Conda and from YAML files, or upload custom ones directly. Navigating to the Spark Compute settings, I can see that my workspace automatically comes with a default starter pool, and I have full transparency of all the pool details. Without needing to set anything up, all notebooks and Spark jobs can leverage the starter pool to run their jobs. In this case, I would actually like to run some small test workloads, and so I'm going to create a new default pool. I'm going to give the pool a name, and select a small node size and turn autoscale off. I can now set my Spark pool to always run with a single node for my test workloads. Finally, I'm going to reduce my executor upper limit and create the pool. Our workspace admin also has the ability to change the default runtime and modify Spark properties. Now that everything has been set up, I can save my workspace settings. Any new notebooks I create will now automatically use a single node Spark along with the selected runtime, libraries, and Spark properties. In this demo, we'll dive deeper into a data developer's authoring experience in Microsoft Fabric. In this project, I'm collaborating with my colleagues on a predictive model built on top of the marketing data in the Lakehouse. I can see Pira has the notebook open, and I can view his code updates in real time inside the cell. To get started, I'm going to install an ML library I need for my project. Thanks to the built-in live pools, my Spark session starts in a matter of seconds, and I can immediately start being productive. I can now drag and drop my campaign table from my Lakehouse, and a code snippet gets generated for me immediately. As I run my cell, I can leverage the inline monitoring to monitor my Spark job and make sure everything is running smoothly. I can get a preview of my data and use the built-in charting capabilities to explore things and even adjust the charts around for better insights. Next, I can use the display summary function to get a quick overview of the quality of my data, looking at data types, missing values, and summary statistics. I can now leverage Spark to do some additional data cleansing, for example, getting rid of the missing values. Users can also use custom libraries to explore their data further. In this case, we'll plot some box plots to look at data distributions of call durations, broken out by job types and campaign outcomes. The notebook has a built-in resource folder, which makes it easy to store scripts or other code files I might need for the project. I'm going to drag and drop the top feature selector Python script that my colleague created, and I can get a quick overview of the functions it supports. I can now use the top feature selector function to identify the most important features for my model. I can leave my colleagues a comment to the notebook cell, letting them know about my progress. All this time, my notebook is getting auto-saved without any involvement needed from me. I'm now ready to train my machine learning model. After some experimentation with a variety of different model types, I decide to use a logistic regression for this project. Finally, I can plot an ROC curve to evaluate my model's performance, and I can easily store it as an image in my notebook resource folder, so that my colleagues can easily check it out as well. To conclude, Fabric provides me with a rich developer experience, enabling users to collaborate, easily work with their Lakehouse data, and leverage the power of Spark. I hope you enjoyed the demos of the data engineering experience. I am really looking forward to hearing your thoughts and feedback, and be sure to check out our monthly blog to stay up to date with all the latest and greatest updates. Thank you so much for watching.